Hey everybody, it's me again. Ooh, Teverz still again. What can I say? Can't go away. Just finished doing the live show. And I'm encouraged to do part 3. The family. Let's get to that. So I'm going to actually name this title Siblings, because truthfully, when I say family, that involves all the family, and it would take me too long to make a video about all the family. So this is actually going to be siblings. Okay, so I got asked today in the live show, do I have siblings? I do. I have a brother and a sister. And they are no longer alive, and I will get to that story and our family heritage of deaths. Now you guys watched my Hero the Mom video. You guys learned that in my life corporal punishment was very harsh. What I wanted to say was my brother and my sister they got spared the rod. I took the punishment for anything that went wrong in the house, and unfortunately, again, not complaining if you watch the video, my mom's still my hero. But I spent most of my life growing up and believing that I spared the rod for them. All the punishment that I took was for them, and that their life was better because of it. And one part of me felt really, really good until shortly after Mom's death, and my sister Zena came up to me and literally she said, you know, you think you had it hard growing up, but you know, she said that her and my brother had to put up with watching me being beaten and the guilt to go with that. Not so much at the time, but later in life. I never knew that my sister felt bad for all the things that happened to me. And it kind of touched my soul. That you think growing up in your home, you know, if you didn't get the physical, that you were kind of like better, you know, you had a better thing. But the truth is that any violence in the house affects everybody in the house, and that was the lesson that I learned from that. Now, so let me tell you about my brother and sister in the first place. So my sister's name is Zena. Zena was born 2.5 years after me. Basically, we said 3 years. And my brother was born 3 years after her. And my brother's name is Raleigh. All three of us have different fathers, but we all have the same mother. My sister got really blessed in the sense that she had a great father. One of my mom's only loves in my life, or in her life, not my life, but in her life. And at the end, her and this wonderful gentleman got to spend some time before both of them passed away. It was amazing. And my brother's dad was the man I call Dad. He adopted me. I was 5 years old. Taught me many things. Again, he wasn't a great parent as a parent when he was married to my mother, but he made up for it years and years after. And as a matter of fact, a few months before he passed away, he sat down at my kitchen table and begged for my forgiveness for the things that he had done as a kid. And I had total respect for him after that. But so that was my brother's biological father. Now we never had dull moments in our house growing up. Whatsoever. If there wasn't the challenges of somebody being in trouble, my sister liked to cause shit to get me into trouble growing up a lot. A lot. And at some point my sister would like to hoof me in the nuts. That became a ritual for a while too, sadly. things that my sister had done that was torturous growing up in my life. Well, she got into high school when I got into my senior year. She let the entire high school know I was gay. Not that I am gay. I'm a happy person. But yeah, think when the first time I heard that, like, you know, hey, your sister's like, he's gay. You think that would be a really horrible thing, but the truth is, women are dumb. No disrespect. I'm not insulting women, but in some respects, you meet a guy, you think he's gay, the first thing you want to do is convert him. I hadn't ended up thanking my sister later on, because the truth is, I had more adventures because of that. So, but these are the kind of things that my sister would do, and I antagonistic biatch for most of my childhood. But the truth is, I love my sister tremendously. And I remember a particular incident where a group of girls were going to torture my sister and beat her up. And I got wind of it, and I actually went to where this was going on, and I stood between the girls and my sister, and I'm like, if anybody is going to beat up my sister, it's going to be me. You know, although if I beat my sister up, I'm going to get beaten for it too, but nobody touches her but me. Stood by her. That was my sister. I'm the oldest. Of course, I was in the parental role for much of my life, and yeah, super protective. And then there was my brother, who had moments of issues, of angers. Now, my brother was absolutely amazing with money. And I say that because here you are picturing this 8-year-old boy playing Monopoly with numerous amounts of adults at the table, and he'd never lose. He won every single time because he was amazing with money. And later on in life, he got into it. How old was when he got caught? He was, what, 10 years old. He was selling my mother's Valium at school. So he knew how to make a profit. In his teen years, he became a drug dealer. Made a fortune off it. The unfortunate part is he ended up partaking in his own product. And that ended up causing some drug-induced schizophrenia. He did become schizophrenic. Manic attacks. Some interesting ones in there. He made a fake bomb once, put it in a thing called the police. In a manic state. Another time he dumped alcohol on his body and lit himself on fire. Things that he did. My favorite of all time of his manic state, I'm still laugh to this day, is we were in church. Oh, my grandmother forced us, we have to go to church. They were talking about holy water, and my brother got out of the pew, walked all the way up to the pulpit, and stood beside the minister and said, "Do you know that if you were to bottle this stuff in a 2-liter bottle, that you could make a fortune off of selling holy water?" Embarrassed the heck out of my grandmother. Got my brother banned from church, which was, in my books, impressive. But that was my brother. I'll go back to my sister for a little bit now. My sister ended up meeting a crowd in her earlier teen years that had a better life, that were richer family. They spoiled her a little bit and had fun. My sister went on to some bad relationships, a good career. My sister had a tremendous heart for people. You have to, if you were raised in our house, you loved people. And you always want to help, and you always want to give. That's the way my mother was. That's how we are. That's all of us were. And that's where my sister was. She got married to a gentleman who dumped her right after the marriage because he wanted to be a priest. That still makes me laugh. Hey, he wasn't cheating on her with another woman or another man. He was cheating on her with God. That was what I said to a Christian like that. I wouldn't trade a moment in my life with my brother or sister, no matter how many times we get mad and not talk, because, oh boy, my sister was stubborn as friggin' stubborn. No matter how much we didn't talk or did talk, They were my brother and my sister, my family. If I haven't told you so far, they're both gone. So my brother, I understood. I'm gonna let you know that the major way people die in our family is suicide. My brother and my sister were no exceptions to those rules, unfortunately. There are many other people in my family who have committed suicide as well. Let me tell you their story. So my brother was a schizophrenic and never wanted to have kids because he never wanted to see his children to see who he was and the states that he get in, and he was afraid to be a parent. And I had a tremendous amount of respect for him for that. I did. And then he had a girlfriend who got pregnant, not by his choice, kind of, sly. Some reason she had put holes in the condoms. Nasty. Don't get me wrong, I have a beautiful niece who I haven't seen in years and years because that was a whole thing, but that was the last Christmas that my brother and my sister and my kids and his daughter were there. And my brother tried to commit suicide in January, and he drank antifreeze. And they took him to, my mom found him, took him to the hospital, and the psychologist, and I won't mention the name that was, or the psychiatrist that was on that day, expressed to my brother that if you wanted to kill yourself with antifreeze, you needed to drink this much antifreeze, and sent him home. 3 weeks later, or roughly around 3 weeks later, that's exactly what he did. He drank 4 liters of antifreeze and was dead. For myself, I took that hugely hard because, as I already told you guys, I was the oldest and in the parental role. For him to be dead, I blamed me. Not lightly, I hugely blamed me. This was the downfall in my life, and there's already the leaving of my second marriage, and this and everything just compiled was like I had no room left in my garbage can full of the stress that I had, and this was the final straw in the whole thing, and I snapped. That was my brother, and the blame. Wow. Now, then you get my sister. Now, my sister has children, but not until later. And I have 2 beautiful nieces from her who I get to see on occasions. And wow, do I ever see a lot of their mom in them. My sister was, as I said, extremely stubborn. Wow. Winning an argument with her was not easy, trust me. Even if I was wrong or right, it didn't matter. It was, yeah, she was like, so highly opinionated. If you were to slap her in the face, she'd throw a tank at you. That kind of person. And she met this amazing man, Kevin, who matched her perfectly in the sense of he's one of those strong guys that just nodded his head and smiled anytime she bitched. No point in arguing back. She'll figure it out on her own, which is true. So my sister didn't have a lot of other things happened in my sister's life that I'm not going to get into, but that were horrendous, and my sister never dealt with that stuff at all until basically when Mom died. And it was hard on my sister when Mom died, although it brought us closer together again, but still hard. All that emotions, and she was in counseling, and then I don't know what happened. The one day her hubby woke up. They all went for a nap. The family went for a nap. The youngest niece was just born a couple of months before, and it could have been postpartum blues, but they woke up to find, and he found her hanging in the basement, and oh God. I got mad at her, and I was mad at her for a while, for a couple reasons. You know, my mom's death had put a strain on my relationship, and I was just in the mending of it. And my sister killed herself. And that put me back into another spiral in my life for a bit. Don't get me wrong, I never hit rock bottom again, but wow, just making stupid decisions again. But I was so mad at her. And I hated the funeral, and I hated months afterwards. And anytime anybody said, "You're the last," I am the last. My parents are dead, my sister and brother are dead, it's me. And don't get me wrong, I have my kids and my nieces and that, but the last of us. And it used to irritate the crap out of me to hear that. I mean, I joke with people or smile and say thank you when people would say it to me, but the truth is, every time somebody said it, it felt like another knife being plunged into me again, because everybody was dead. I didn't have anybody else left to share the laughters that we had. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love to tell my grandchildren about these stories, but good therapy session, learned I had survivor's guilt, and I got to deal with it. But these were two amazing people that should never have killed themselves, the truth. My brother was probably the smartest guy I ever knew when it come to money. And my sister had such compassion for the world and giving, and it was a sad day to lose either one of them in my life. And I still feel them here. I like having the memories, like that Monopoly game. My sister and my brother and my mom and us, and sitting around and playing. And I have lots of those stories. My sister's baseball team, my brother in bowling. And I'll get to those in the future, because a lot of them are absolutely funny about what went on. So guys, that's my siblings. The next video is going to be on my kids. Maybe I should talk about my relationships first. Relationships don't bring tissues. It won't be. Other than that, guys, comments, guys, I love your comments. I have been loving your comments. Again, I know I'm crying, but put them down below, guys. I love you for it. Other than that, life is too short, guys. Get the heck out of the house. Go out, have fun, enjoy it. Do it today, because tomorrow never comes. Bye for now, guys.